Since the 2015 nationwide ceasefire agreement, refugee repatriations and IDP returns in Myanmar have increased steadily, as have repatriation and return initiatives. The hope of reduced armed conflict and the building of sustainable peace has led organizations like UNHCR to begin preparing for the progressive and large-scale return of refugees living in the temporary shelters of Thailand. "1,039 refugees have repatriated to Myanmar through the UNHCR's voluntary repatriation program since 2016. But many more have returned on their own. Since returning, refugees and IDPs in rural southeast Myanmar have faced numerous challenges in creating a sustainable livelihood for themselves.
People who came back with me do nothing so far. They just travel back and forth between the camp and here. There are some people who came back to get houses, and they are still registered in the camp."
UNHCR and government assistance to help returnee resettlement and reintegration has been insufficient.
When we first came back to Burma, they supported us and gave us aid, but it was just enough for 1 month. We received rice, oil, and other food from the Myanmar government, but it was just enough for a month.
A lack of local facilities forces many to travel long distances in order to access healthcare and education. In border areas, returning to the refugee camps for medical treatment is the most viable solution, despite the challenges of crossing the border and gaining entry into the camps in Thailand. Access to legal documentation like ID cards and household registration remains extremely difficult for returnees. Without ID, citizens are unable to apply for land titles, travel domestically, and find employment. The political climate in southeast Myanmar remains tense and unstable due to unresolved and ongoing conflict and injustice.
I don't think that the current situation is sustainable yet. We still have concern about the potential conflict that might happen again between the Tamador and KNLA.
Over 90,000 refugees, mostly Karen, still live in the temporary shelters in Thailand. Over 162,000 villagers remain internally displaced within southeast Myanmar. More repatriations and returns are expected to take place in upcoming years. Greater support is necessary to ensure that they can rebuild their lives and assume an active role as citizens.